Hello, my name's Jason. Welcome to another painting lesson. Today we've got a black canvas up. I've painted a white canvas with some black gesso. That's the gesso is a primer, and just all black. And then what I've done is I put a very thin amount of liquid clear all over the canvas, and it's very thin. Say it again, very thin. And then I used a paper towel and just wiped that. And then I've put some blue, Prussian Blue, some Phthalo Blue here, and put some Sap Green and Crimson and just all sorts of colours in there. And let's have a go, see what we can come up with. Using the 2-inch brush, let's go into some Cad Yellow, and a little bit of white. Cad Yellow and titanium white. Let's just come up here and let's put in, let's just do a few little crisscross strokes, just little strokes, and let's put in indication of some light here and there. The yellow's picking up the blues and the greens, so you can spin the brush. Doesn't matter really, doesn't matter. Spin it around here. This is just background material. Just spinning. Let's get some white. Tap into some white. Let's tap some white there. Just tapping. Just tapping. I'm just picking out places. I'm just putting white in. I'm not too worried about it. Nice and easy. Now using a clean dry 2-inch brush. Let's start mixing this up. Just mixing it up. It'll pick up the other colours and get softer. Just wiping the brush on a paper towel. Just soften it all. This is just a quick way of creating some light behind the trees. Okay. Let's go over that. And then maybe there's the lightest bit. Maybe the lightest bit's here. Let's add a bit more of the white. More of the white in there, and use the other side just to blend that. Okay, that'll do. Now then, let's put in some trees. Let's use the fan brush. I'll just put in the indication. Let's get some black and brown. Dyke Brown and Midnight Black. It's on the fan brush. Let's put in indication of a tree that lives there. Maybe there's one there. Maybe there. Wherever you want. Maybe there's a thin one there. There's another one. Do them in clumps. More pressure you put on, the thicker you get. Light pressure. Thin. Some that come in front. Put in lots of trees. There's a few over here. Wherever. You get some that have fallen over. There's one there. There's a bit of land there. So when I'm out walking the dog, I always have a look at the trees. They grow all over the place, all different angles. Right, and I'm using the liner brush. Gone into some paint thinner, and I've made a thinner paint. And let's start putting in some branches on all these trees. Branches, wherever you want. Just thinking about when you've walked in the forest and you've seen trees, or if you've got a tree outside in your garden, have a look at that one, or Go on the internet, have a look at trees. There's plenty for you to look at. Now I've mentioned bonsai trees before, but they're amazing trees. Always like looking at little bonsais. And if you've got your own, then you could bring it inside and have a go at painting it. Be great practice. Great practice. I'm just putting in little branches everywhere. And over this side, let's put some in. Wherever you want. It's up to you. Maybe you get some that go down as well as up. Some that go across. Some that go up. They go up and then across. They go everywhere. Anywhere you can think of as a branch growing. And this one's fallen over. Branches are growing up. Okay, that's good. I've shown you how to do that. You'll be able to do that now. Now, using the 1-inch brush, let's pick up some dark colour. It's just still all black and brown. I'm just using the corner. Just pushing. Look, and let's think. Let's pick one, and there we go. Maybe there's some area there, maybe there. Okay, and then there's a bit here. Just picking out areas where there's a few little branches. When it's in amongst all this, most of the foliage and leaves are right up here, right along the top. But there's some areas where the light's still getting, and those areas, straight away the trees are like, right, I need some leaves. Need to catch those. Need to catch that light. And then you get all kinds of bushes growing at the bottom. All kinds of things growing at the base. And let's put those in. It gives us a indication of a forest. Right, let's start working forward. Let's just tap into some of this dark. Let's just bring that. That's where it finishes. Right, we've got some light. Our light source is here, so we need to think about that all the way through the painting. Think about where your light is coming from. It's very important. So let's go into some of the yellows. Cad Yellow, Yellow Ochre, Indian Yellow, and Sap Green. Okay. Maybe get a little bit of black in there, just to darken that. Right, let's start bringing the grass forward. Now our lightest area, like I said, is here. So let's start there, and just tapping. And then the further away you get, it'll get darker. Use less pressure and less pressure. and also because you keep using the paint, some of it's come off, and then it's picking up the colour underneath, and it gets darker and darker automatically. And every time you come around this area, think bright spots. And then the more you tap, the softer it gets. Let's take that off there. Just tapping. Like I say, the more you tap, the darker it gets. see I've almost tapped that light bit away there, so let's put that in again. Touch, just touch. Okay, let's bring some water in this. Let's go into a little bit of the white, just using the 2-inch brush. Tap a little bit of Phthalo Blue, and now water, it comes from there. Just pull down, that's where our water is. Because if I've already put some blue and green and crimson and all sorts. It's picking that up, and then just go across, go straight down, and then go across. And then thinking that light point, think about that light. Let's put a bit of lighter area in that area, just to remind us that's where the light is. And let's maybe there's a tree in front there. Let's grab our fan brush. Let's get some of the brown, the black, the brown, maybe a bit of dark sienna, all on the fan brush. And let's put in a tree here. He's there, and he's got this branch, this trunk that sort of goes straight there, and then it goes up. This is one that I see in the morning. You go sort of like that. And then he's got a quite bigger branch there. It goes like that. Okay, and let's highlight him. Let's stay with the fan brush. Dark sienna, titanium white. Staying with the fan brush, and let's the light sort of hitting just along here, along that edge. And on this one, it's this edge. And then what you can do is you can think about where the light's hitting most, and you can put a little bit more light in. I don't know if that's showing up as much as it should. There we go. Make it a little bit more obvious, but you keep it all subdued. Okay, now let's put some branches using the liner brush. Grab a little bit of paint thinner. Let's go into this brown colour. A bit more of the paint thinner. Okay, I want it thin as ink. And then spin your bristles. Spin your bristles. Let's put in a few branches that comes off this one. Okay. And then again, most of the branches are at the top. Let's do another one there. There's one that sort of comes on here. I always see a little robin that stands on that branch. So make sure we got that one in for the robin. Okay, now let's use a bit of the dark, a little bit of the black, the green, black and green. Let's put in some little dark where our branches are, mostly at the top. Okay, and then let's tap into some of the Cad Yellow. Just push. Let's tap in. Now just give it a little bit of a highlight. Just a little bit. Now this area picking up a bit more of the light. Just tapping. Thinking about shape, form, and this one there. Okay, there is a bit there. Get carried away. Right, let's clean that up at the base. In the grass. And then, of course, because where our light is, the darker under here, darker there. Let's just put an indication of where it is. Okay. And let's start tapping on the grass, coming forward, just tapping. You can make that softer and softer the more you tap. And there's a lot of rocky bits, so let's get some of this black. Pull it out flat using the detail knife, cut across, get a little roll of paint, and let's just put this dirt that sort of sits out here, and just scratching it in. You're pushing pretty hard, and it just. I'm trying to keep it straight to getting where the land is. A bit more. Okay. It comes all the way down there. And there's another tree that lives. There's another tree that lives down here. He's a bigger one there. He sort of goes right there. He's a chunky tree. And this one's arm, it sort of goes here. Since this tree's in front, let's use the knife to highlight it. Let's give it a bit more detail, because when you're composing your painting and you're thinking, now what is this painting about? Now this one you could say it's about this tree. So what you do is you would put more detail on this tree than anywhere else in the painting, and then that's where your eye would go. Your eye would go there, so that would be the feature of the painting. Just tapping. As you're tapping round, it gets darker and darker. And just tapping. The paint's pretty thick, so when it dries it will look and feel like bark. You can even go into some of the dark brown and bring that back round to make it less of a strong colour, just to bring it together really, and that root comes out like that. But when you get used to these knives, it's amazing what you can do. While we've got the knife in our hand, let's use this greyish colour here. It's got a little bit of black, a little bit of black and white in there. Let's pull it out flat. Let's cut across, very flat. It's all sort of marbly, and cut across. Little roll of paint. And let's have a look at this. Let's very lightly. Let's just put in some highlights on this. Just very lightly, just dragging it here and there. Some highlights. too much. Not too much. Just put a bit darker there. Okay, let's bring this grass across. Want some of this grass, and it sort of goes right on this. Just to set that into the painting. Just loading the brush, sorry. Just putting some of that grass on top of it. Pinking in layers. Oh, let's just seen something. Let's grab a tiny bit of white, on the brush, and let's get a little bit of light zinging through here. Just a little bit. It's easy to overdo. Just do a little bit. That'll do. Just so the light's splashing through there. And just tap it, soften it a little bit. Okay, now let's go back to the 1-inch brush. Black and brown. Let's put the area where the branches are on this tree. There's some there in front of that one. Big branch that hangs down there. Okay, there's a little branch that's there as well usually. Okay, there we go. Oh, let's do the. We didn't put any of the ones with a liner brush. Again, there was a. Think about the trees that you've seen, or make your own trees up. You can do that as well. Using the rules of nature. Just create your own trees. Okay, there we go, and let's use the 1-inch brush. 1-inch brush, let's get some of this yellow. Let's have this brighter so we can see this branch here. And just touch in the corner, just highlight individual bits. This sort of there. Thinking angles. Thinking individual clumps. It's a bit darker up there. Let's go a bit green in with our colour. Just tapping here and there. Create some of these lighter bits. And this one, let's put a little bit in there. And maybe a little bit brighter bit just on the edge there. The light's hitting. Okay, let's just clean up the base of this tree. Grabbing some dark colour because that would be dark there. Just put in a little bit of the tree trunk in there. Just an indication of it being in the water. A clean, dry brush just to pull that down. Go across. Now let's got all this side to do as well. Let's get some dark colour. Let's bring some dark in there. And actually, before we do that, let's get a tiny bit of white. Tiny bit of white in with our blue and white here. Let's just do the indication. There's some little water lines where the water's moving. Just underneath there. just here and there. You don't need too much. And you can flatten those out a little bit. Okay, now let's working on this side. It's mostly grass. There's a bush here. Just got dark on the bristles. There's a couple of bushes there. Let's get the old grass brush. Yep, this is a grass brush now. Just getting some green or the yellows, pushing up. And let's start at the back there. This needs to be a little bit darker because it's not getting as much light as it is over that side. So let's keep it that way. Let's keep it darker. Thinking about the angles. Just touching, just touching. And there's a rock there as well, so let's put that in. Some of the blue, black and brown. Just pull it out. Little roll of paint. There's a rock. It's like here. So let's just block that colour in. Sort of there. There's another one there. There's one that's sort of there as well. I can put a little bit of that colour in there. Okay, now actually with the same colour as we used before, let's pull that out flat. Cut across, little roll of paint as a bit of light hits these rocks. Maybe let's do this one first. Very lightly. And just pull some of that. Pull some of that in. And there's a bit more just hitting that one, and some hitting that side of the rock there. There. Okay, and that's back to our grass colours. Let's just clean that bit up there. And there's some grass growing up that rock. It's been there a while, so the grass would be growing all over it. And that one. It just sort of sends it in. Send it into the painting. There we go. Just tapping. And then there we've got our little bush. So using the I just grabbed a 1-inch brush that's covered with paint. So I've got paint all over me now. Never mind. Always happens. So a little bit of liquid clear. And I'm just pulling into some paint. You see that bush that's forming? That bush that's forming on the palette. You get one of those on your bristles. I just had this idea. You know, I was telling you about when you're composing your painting and if you're using more detail, your eye goes to it. Also works with colour. So I've made this really hot. So now your eye would go to the red. It's another way to compose. Maybe all your colours are very subdued except that one colour. And then your eye will go there automatically. Just getting a little bit of colour for some little sticks and little grass bits here and there. Once I get the line of brush, that's it. It's all kinds of little sticks and things start appearing. But it's fun and it's easy, so why not? Oh, let's let's have a look. Well, let's call this one finished. Say good little painting. It's one you can do, even if you've never painted before. You can do this one. I'm just getting some paint thinner on the line of brush into the bright red. Spinning the bristles. Spinning the bristles. And let's sign this one here. Right in the shadows. J B and a little bird. Oh, thanks very much for watching this painting. It's a nice, fun, easy one. Cheers.